All right, so I want to talk about this issue. Mile High Cab has sought authority to operate as a taxi company in several counties up in the Denver area, and the Public Utilities Commission's administrative law judge ruled that Mile High Cab is operationally and managerial fit, which means that Mile High Cab has the money and skills to form a business. But the judge, this administrative law judge, ruled that more competition, get this, more competition in the taxi business would hurt the public interest. He therefore denied Mile High Cab's application, and the Mile High Cab has appealed to the full commission. So we're gonna pull up now Tom Russell. Tom's an attorney for Mile High Cab. Tom, this is unbelievable. How does a judge rule that more competition in the cab business hurts the public interest?
Well, Jeff, we're a little stunned by it too, frankly. I mean, the finding, as you say, that we're fit to run the business, and then to say more competition will hurt us. You mentioned we're going to operate in Denver. It's actually, we're going to operate in Douglas County, Jefferson, Adams, Arapahoe, and Denver counties. So it's a big area. We have 150 cabs we'd like to put out. That's about one cab for every 25 square miles in that territory, or one cab for every 16,000 persons. And the judge has used an old theory called destructive competition. And it's probably a little unfair to ask me to make that argument seriously.
Yeah, that's pretty hard, but
I'll do my best.
All right.
It's roughly the idea that we'll enter the market. We would enter with 150 cabs. We'd be the smallest of the cab companies. And that our competition would essentially crater the competitors and leave everybody without cab service, or so diminish the cab service that people wouldn't be able to find the service they need.
By having more cabs on the street?
I don't know. That's about the best I can do.
Okay, that was a great argument, Tom.
I'm trying.
What a great legal argument.
So I'll try a little harder, Jeff.
All right,
so
gotcha.
Say you're Xcel, and I'm a new utility company trying to come in.
Okay.
And I compete with you, and then we both end up dying on the battlefield, and life goes dark.
Right.
Something along those lines is essentially the argument. But of course, the cab business is not like that.
Right.
The first thing to say is that people often don't understand that in the metro area, cab fares are not the same across companies. We're going to charge 25 cents less per mile. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're also not going to charge for extra passengers nor for extra baggage. It's sort of like Southwest Airlines.
Sure.
It's ride free with Mile High Cab.
Right.
And that, by itself, I think that's pretty good evidence of a benefit to the public interest.
Obviously.
Competition is working, price is lower, but government gets in the way of, us forming this business is where we are.
So why is this administrative law judge, I know you probably don't want to pick too big of a fight and poke too big of a stick in his eye on it, but why would he do this other than protectionism of a particular cab company?
Well, that's certainly one story that fits the facts here, that it protects those companies. I don't know. It's an argument that the biggest interveners, the companies that opposed us, didn't even make. So it's an argument, as I make clear in all the pleadings, which I have up on milehighcab.com. The other side didn't even make these arguments. The judge made these arguments for them. And I simply don't think there's evidence to support it. There were some, what I call paid opinion witnesses, also sometimes called experts, who came in and made this argument. But frankly, I found it unconvincing, and I'm hoping that our exceptions, which the three commissioners will rule on, that they will find them unconvincing and overturn the judge's decision. Yeah,
this is, number one, I think, Laura, we'll talk about this, but maybe we can try and at least ask this administrative law judge or a representative of the Public Utilities Commission to come on the show and defend that. I mean, that's just ridiculous to say that more cabs would somehow cause you to not be able to find a cab in Denver. It's just illogical of an argument. But I'd love to know what their reasoning is behind that. So,
yeah, the utilities law is like say out in the smaller counties of Colorado, utilities law protects an existing cab company from competition from the outside, even more strongly than it does in these Denver area counties. And I think the theory is sort of, it may be hard to get a utility or a cab company or something else started there, and so maybe they need protection. That kind of makes sense to me, in the early part of the 20th century or the latter part of the 19th century, maybe. But now I think the arguments have broken down. Furthermore, the legislature changed this regime, led in particular by the efforts of Senator Penry. The legislature came in and said, we want more competition in the larger counties in Colorado, in particular in the larger counties around Denver, and really changed the law to say if a company comes in and shows it's fit, then it flipped the burden and said the other side had to show that the public interest would be damaged. And we simply don't think that the interveners showed that in this case.
Right. Well,
so I think...
Well, Tom, let me ask you this now. What's the impact? I mean, there might be some people, obviously we have a lot of listeners up in some of those areas, Douglas County, certainly, but there might be people in Colorado Springs saying, hey, how does this impact me? Does this have an impact on Colorado Springs and other communities?
Well, first, in effect, the administrative law judge closed the Denver market to new taxi competition.
Right.
Not just a Mile High Cab, but there's two companies whose applications are in the hopper right now behind us who also want to come in, right?
Yeah.
And obviously these are business people who've made a decision, have decided to put their own time and their capital at risk.
Sure.
And they're, prepared to do that. Like, I'd like to say about Mile High Cab, for example, it's 150 local business people trying to form essentially a cooperative. They've all put money into it. During a recession, they haven't had to borrow any money to form this business. And we're being kept out. And it does look a little bit like the incumbent companies, including the French corporation that owns Yellow Cab, is being protected. It doesn't make sense. On those grounds, it's difficult for us to figure out, and then particularly for these people who are coming up behind as well.
Yeah.
Let me say comparable cities or smaller cities even. New Orleans, for example, has something like 18 different taxi cabs.
Right.
Companies. And, and you get all the benefits of competition from that. And I do want to touch on the Springs in a sec, but I'd like to make one additional point. Something that people don't understand about the cab business is drivers pay a weekly lease fee to the company.